Number one terrorist. Number one terrorist. U.S. imperialist. U.S. imperialist.
Israel, India, and Israel.
大家好，我是戴。不久前，美以联军对伊朗发动袭击，导致伊朗最高领袖哈梅内伊、多名政府高官和大量平民被炸身亡。这一消息震惊全球，也在美国国内引发了巨大争议。有人愤怒指责这一场可能引发战争的暗杀，也有人称这是消灭威胁的必要行动。美国政府的决定真的代表美国人民的想法吗？普通美国人是否愿意为这场新的中东冲突付出代价？现在我们来美国街头，听听他们怎么说。Do you believe the United States had the legal or moral right to assassinate another country's leader like Ayatollah Ali Khamenei?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is a war crime against humanity. Absolutely not.
Well, number one, it was a right decision by what Trump has done. What he did was efficient, excellent. However, this war has gone too far. Number two, I'm just going to be on the U.S. and Israel side because people were suffering. A lot of people were suffering. Do you want to add on?
Yeah. And he was non-elected leader. Everyone in the Iran wanted to
Non-elected. Dictatorship.
And everyone there wanted to rid of him. So definitely, like US being a nation which stand for human rights, it's really important. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think the United States has any legal rights to dictate what happens in another country.
Well, let's face it, when it comes to the rules-based order, the rules-based order has always been whatever the U.S. ruling class says things should be. It's fake. I mean, even Mark Carney, the head of Canada, acknowledged as much when he was talking at the UN. So, if we're talking about legality, all of that legality is essentially made up. But as communists, we stand 100% against the actions of U.S. imperialism in the region and with the Iranian people.
Do you think the military action reflects the will of the American people?
Absolutely not. No, it doesn't.
Depends. If you're a conservative, you will support this. And if you're a true American, you will support Iran getting free and away from the regime. Do most Americans support it? I'm not sure, but I'm not going to comment on things that I do not know.
Exactly. Same.
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I mean, Trump was elected as a peace candidate, because people were sick and tired of war. This is why people voted for him. Although I boycotted the election because I knew he was a charlatan from the beginning, but he campaigned on I end wars, not start wars.
I think this military action has two reflections. One, that the American government and those that control it do not care what the American people think or decide when it comes to actions that represent America on the world stage. And the second is that Americans are still in the process of understanding and witnessing that their government doesn't really represent them in the actions that are taken without them wanting it or asking for it.
Absolutely not. 6 in 10 Americans say they are against the military interlude in Iran by Donald Trump. Americans are heavily anti-war. In fact, Trump ran on an anti-war campaign saying that he would stop forever wars. And in fact, what he's doing is preparing a potential war in the entire region of the Middle East.
Do you believe U.S. leaders are prioritizing American interests or Israel's?
I think they're prioritizing the interests of the U.S. and Israeli states. I do not believe that they are prioritizing the interests of the American and Israeli people.
I don't know everything, but I do know that the U.S. has always had Israel's back. They have always had Israel's back, and also some other countries, but at the same time, I know that I support Israel very much, and if anyone attacks Israel, we're gonna fuck you over.
Definitely, it's supporting its interests. America, US is not some country which is in isolation. We have allies, and definitely Israel is our ally. And in geopolitics, you have your interest, and for that you have to take steps. And what US is doing. That's what Trump is doing.
They're prioritizing Israel's interest.
Israel's interest. Yeah, he's prioritizing the interests of his family of building Trump towers everywhere. Yeah, this is not the interest of the American people. This is not America first. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene has been saying. Everything is just, he's more focused on his promoting his family business, than the American people.
I think that Israel's interests and American imperialism interests are the same interests. Israel is basically just the main ally of U.S. imperialism, and so it is true that Netanyahu has been pushing the American imperialists in a certain direction, but there's a reason why they do what he says, because they need an ally in the region. So I'd say the U.S. imperialism and Israeli imperialism are two sides of the same coin. And you know this too, because Genocide Joe, if you remember him, he used to be the president. He went and shook hands with Netanyahu and basically gave him a blank check to have a genocide against the Palestinians. And this actually started the whole thing. Why is Netanyahu going after Iran? The very reason he is doing this is because he's trying to stay in his position. If he wasn't able to do that, then he would be tried in the court in his own country for criminal acts.
Do you believe this conflict could escalate into a global confrontation involving other major powers?
I hope not, but I very much fear so.
I absolutely do believe that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This could result in China, Russia.
I do believe Russia may interfere. However, do not quote me. Wait, I'm interviewing.
I say,
Oh, you too!
we're not going to get into these times. Russia's not going to get involved with it.
You never know. I have heard a lot of things.
I know what you heard, but I explained to you a lot of things. They have their own problems. We don't have to worry about anything. What Iran, not the Iranian people, the IRGC has to worry about is attacking Kuwait, Jordan, Dubai, Saudi.
Even Qatar, the biggest terrorist front.
No, Pakistan. You cannot deny.
Blaming it on Israel. No, you sent these fucking things over there. Now they got to worry about that. The Middle East people are not going to go after the IRGC, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, and everybody that's part of the Iranian proxy. This is the best thing that ever happened to the world right now, because this is actually saving
Israel is going to save the world with America, I'm telling you.
I do think it may, for a little, I'm not sure how long, it may go to a global, bigger conflict. Countries like Russia, or maybe even China or North Korea may intervene, but it may be like a regional Middle Eastern war against Iran more. Because you know what Iran has done is very wrong. And look at what's going on. Iran killed so many people for protesting. Tell me a nation that kills that many people in less than 24 hours just for protesting. That is straight up a genocide. That is murder. So, yes.
I don't think so that Russia gonna be into this because they can support them from the back, but from the front line they won't, because they have their own problems. And at the same time, it's like Middle East versus Middle East. They are having their own issues. Their own people are not supporting that government, that regime. So Russia gonna back who? They can back none. So I don't think so.
I think this is just another step in that direction, which will have other countries and other nations get involved. So for myself, for my own cultural, religious beliefs, like this is something that is supposed to happen to fulfill some of the prophecies that are in the Bible.
If Iran retaliates against U.S. cities, bases, or allies, who do you think should be held responsible?
Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, and the supporters of the state of Israel in this country.
The United States and Israel.
Well, in the first instance, it would certainly be the fault of the U.S. and some sort of retaliatory response would certainly be expected, as one would expect if our own head of state were assassinated by a foreign government.
Obviously, we know the main imperialist power, the people that are causing this are the Epstein class and U.S. imperialism, and we stand completely against them. But obviously, if we're looking at the entire region, war in that region is not good for anyone, and particularly, I mean, the normal working class people in Saudi Arabia, in Lebanon, in Jordan, all of these countries, as well as Iran, they have no interests with the ruling class in the West. And in fact, what they really need to do is basically establish workers' governments across all of those regions and fight against U.S. imperialism as one class, as one people, and against the British, who are the ones who basically set up all these divisory nation states in the first place.
Everyone should be held. I think all the leaders of governments and nations should be held responsible, because Israel has gone for far too long without any repercussions to their actions. The United States has gone far enough with not being checked with the actions that they have taken in their involvement in other countries throughout the decades or even past 2 centuries. America still hasn't been served its righteous judgment for what it has done to the indigenous people of the Americas and to the Negroes that were brought over here in slavery. So all the world powers should be and will be held responsible for what's going on.
Responsibility of any decision comes to the nation. We have elected someone, and accountability comes to everyone. So this is not going to go that way for sure.
Some argue that eliminating Iran's leadership will prevent future attacks. How do you respond to that?
Total bullshit.
That is nonsense. This is irrational. It will only cause more problems.
Definitely, they will. It's a terrorist regime. They will do everything which is possible, which is evil. They will do everything.
I don't believe that's what's going to happen. I think that it's actually going to get worse, like it's done other times the United States has meddled in other people's affairs rather than taking care of the affairs of the citizens and residents of this nation.
I disagree. I think it can only accelerate future attacks and other countries getting involved, because everyone is reaching a boiling point to what they will continue to allow America and Israel to do and get away with.
Well, obviously that's not true, because the Ayatollah is dead and there are still attacks being had. Trump thought that, he could just remove the leader of a country like he did in Venezuela, and that the government would just fold to him. But Iran is not Venezuela. Iran is a far more powerful country. They have a military of nearly a million people. And the Iranian people, also completely hate U.S. imperialism. And so Trump's entire gamble, I think, is a farce. And let's face it, it's one that the U.S. imperialism cannot win. They only have like 5 to 10 days worth of munitions because of all of the munitions that they sent to Ukraine and Israel. And so they're basically, this is a total gamble, and it is probably going to lose for the U.S. imperialism. But let's face it, I don't really care about U.S. imperialism's loss. What I care about is the lives that are going to be lost, just so these capitalists can get a little bit better strategic position in the region.
Some also argue that the strike could ultimately benefit the Iranian people. So what do you say about this?
Has Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Kosovo, Yemen, where America has the opposite of a Midas touch. Whenever America intervenes in a country, it becomes, it creates more problems. It causes more death, destruction. Like you see in Libya. Libya under Gaddafi was the richest country in the world. Very prosperous. People from Africa would come to work. And look what's happening there now.
That's a lie. That's propaganda by the Epstein class.
Total bullshit. I mean, what country is going to be benefited by being bombed?
I heard there was a new leader just now. Did you hear about that?
He killed as well. He has been killed. Wow. Dude, US is playing its A game.
The strike against in Iran does not benefit the Iranian people whatsoever. From our perspective, the people that should run the country are the Iranian working class itself, not the Shah, not the Ayatollah, and certainly not the worst of them all, the US imperialism, right? We need to put the Iranian working class in power. But Trump is not going to do that. He said, oh, I support the Iranian people to take back. He does not support that. What he wants is a puppet government. That's the only reason he's doing these things.
In a way, it can benefit the Iranian people. When Adolf Hitler was able to garner and show German power by raising and inspiring its people, I think this can show Iranian people that they need to be proud of who they are and defend who they are, which can muster, more pride and the ideas to spread that they need to finally stand up to America and Israel and defend itself on a larger and broader scale.
So what alternative policy towards Iran would you support?
Non-interventionists, like George Kennan said, we need not to go abroad in search of monsters to destroy. We need to focus on America first.
I think the Iranian people need to figure out how to work their own stuff out, just like we need to do it. And the United States needs to pay them for any damages they've done to their nation.
Negotiation over those disagreements that need to be negotiated, and above all, respect for national sovereignty.
Just to set up a democratic system there so that they can choose their own leader who can develop the nation. That's it. And just have good connection with the Iran Iran government. That's it. That's how every sovereign nation, how we have relation with any other sovereign nation, we have to have the same relation with Iran. That's it. Nothing different.
I think the only policy that I support is the Bible. And I think Iran should do what is necessary to protect and defend Iran.
From our perspective, we need to get rid of US imperialism at home. The working class of the United States must organize against US imperialism and establish a workers' government, not the government of the Epstein class, but the government of the workers. And if you do that, that is going to transform the whole of the world. That's the only thing. And by the way, that's the only thing that can help the Iranian people and the people of the Middle East if you get rid of US imperialism. That's the main goal.
好了，本期的视频就到这里，感谢大家的观看，更感谢同志们的助力。如果你觉得我视频有点意义，欢迎关注我的账号“大义春秋”。
Trump and the USA!